You are welcome to Aiding Glue Unique Fashion and Design. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make this lunch bag that you can open fully. It is very, very easy to make. So as you can see, you'll see that I've already cut out my materials, but I'm going to show you detailed method or a detailed way in which you can make yours. So here with me, I have the two pieces that I need. So first of all, you need the front pattern. And the front part stand that I'm working with is 18 inches by 10 inches. That is a real measurement, 18 inches by 10 inches. So when you are done bringing out that measurement, the next thing you are going to do is to determine the gusset. Let me call it gusset. So I'm going to measure 5 inches, which is going to give me 5 inches here. I'll come to this side and also measure same 5 inches. So we'll be left with 8 inches. Remember, it's 18.5 inches. So we'll be left with 8 inches. So when you are done bringing out this measurement this way, the next thing you are going to do is to measure 1.5 inch downward. You also measure 1 inch inward and mark it. So you measure 1.5 inch downward and 1 inch inward. You come to this part. Here you have your 5 inches line. You measure 1 inch inward as well. You also come down you mark it at this area too. 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. So you are going to use your ruler to form a straight line. So for this part, where the 5 inches is, you also measure it to the down. And also form a straight line. Repeat the same thing to this side as well. Form a straight line. So from this point now, just come down by 1.5 inches. So whatever you do here, you are repeating the same thing to this side as well. So after doing this, I'm simply going to use my marking pen or my chalk to give it a curve to meet with this 1 inch line that I have. So from this 1.5 inches, from here, I'll also measure 1.5 inches as well. So I'll connect it like this. You can decide to use 1 inch if you want, or you can still decide to cut it a bit. So you can just use 1 inch instead of 1.5. So from here, measure 1 inch inward. From the top, measure 1.5 inch downward this way. Then connect the both lines together. So after connecting it that way, from this line here, you are going to also connect it upward to meet with this your 1 inch line, like this. Okay, see. So after connecting it this way, you are repeating the same thing to this side. So you are going to cut it, following what you have. So you are going to cut it this way. Then after cutting it out, you set it aside. So you can see that I already cut this side of it. I already cut mine out. So this one that I'm showing you is just a demo for you to understand what I did. So after cutting your main body, which is the front part, for you to know what you cut for the back part, whatever you have from here to here, you are going to add what you are going to remove from here. So from here to here, we have 18 inches plus 2.5 inches is 20.5 inches. And you are going to add extra 2 inches to be on the safer side. You can add 1 inch, you can add 2 inches. For me here, what I have is 22.5 inches. So I add extra 2 inches to it. I add extra 2 inches to it. Or you can still decide to add 1.5 inches. If you add 1.5 inches, it's also fine. So whatever you have from here to here, add these 2.5 inches you are minusing, add it to it. So 18 inches plus this 2.5 inches that you are going to cut off is going to make it 20.5 inches. Then when you add 1.5 inches, it's going to give you 22 inches. So you are going to cut a total of 22 inches for the back part. So 22 inches by which wideness? It's 22 inches by the wideness that you have from here to here. Remember, our wideness from here to here is 8 inches. So the 22 inches for the length, while 8 inches for the width. The 8 inches is the wideness from here to here. That is the main body. This part that we measured 5 inches is going to be here, be this way. It's going to be this way. So this part is going to be like this. I don't know. If you don't understand, just keep watching and you are going to understand as time goes on. So when you bring out your 22 by 8 inches out, the next thing you are going to do for you to achieve this part that is curved is that you are going to measure 2.5 inches downward. You are going to measure 2.5 inches down, and to this side you are going to measure 1.5 inches. Then you are simply going to give it a curve. So make sure you use something that is round to curve it so that it will give you a perfect round shape. Hope you can see. So you can see what I have here. So you will repeat the same thing to this side. You can either fold it this way. So we have the mark out here as well. So what you're going to do is just to trim it out. So that is the cutting of this part. So after cutting it out this way, the next thing you're just going to do is that you're going to cut your lining and your foam out using this template. So after that, the next thing we are going to do is our cartoon character. What is the wideness of our cartoon character? It should be exactly what we have there. So this one now is 9 inches. It means that it is wider than what we have in our own. So what we have here total is what? Is 8 inches. 8 inches. So that means that this cartoon character is wider than what we have here. So I'm going to trim it so that it will be equal with what we have as the wideness of our bag. So what I'm going to do is that I will notch the midpoint and I'm going to trim it for me to have 8 inches. So once I am done cutting it to the size of what I want, the next thing I will do is to bring my belt. So I'll put my belt on at the edge like this and stitch it down. I will notch the midpoint. I'll also notch the midpoint of my cartoon character. I will use my clip. I'll place it middle to middle and use my clip to hold it down because I don't want it to shift. So I'll also use my clip to hold it at this other part. I don't want it to shift when I am stitching it. I'll just stitch it this way.
So if you don't watch this video reach this time, abeg make you like, subscribe and share, and make you tell me what you feel about this video for the comment section. So when you don't sew your cartoon character for the two side finish, just try and trim off this part so that it go rhyme with what you already cut before. And when you don't trim and finish, you go stitch and put for the upper part if you want.
So I will loosen these ones out. We don't need it. So this one is going to be here. Hope you see. So let's proceed, guys. So from here to here, we have 5 inches, right? So I'm going to measure 2.5 inches and connect a straight line. You are doing the same thing to this other side as well. So after doing that, so we are going to the belt. This side is 10 inches. This is 10 inches for this one. So I will notch the midpoint. I'll place it at this line that I marked. So the line is going to serve as midpoint for me. So from this point down, I will measure 2 inches. That is where I'll fold this one to meet. But before then, I'll place this one on it. This is adjuster. You can use your D-ring if you have. So this one now will stop at that 2 inches line that I marked.
So guys, we have finally come to the end of this video. Please like, comment and share. Thanks so much for watching. Watch out for part 2.